What's good, people? Welcome to another banger episode on my channel. Today I'm bringing y'all a video about quarterly reports. So this was a video that was requested in the comment section, and it says right here, where do I find quarterly reports? How do I analyze it? How do I get information and such? So to break things down, we're gonna go and dive deeper into this. So what is a quarterly report? First of all, quarterly report is a company's reports on a lot of things about where they're heading, what's been going on. It's an information for their shareholders and investors and other people involved, because we don't get to see the day-to-day operations of the company, but we have our money in it. So it's like, yo, what's going on with our money, man? Like, you can't just have our money like that without telling us nothing about it. So every 4 months they just give us an update, and they tell us, like, yo, this is how your money been spent, this is what's been going on, this is how we expect to make more money. So that's what it is basically. So they do 4 every year. So at the end of the year they put all 4 of them together and you have a year update, so annual report, and that's the big boy one. So to start things off first, so the first thing you can do if you're trying to find quarterly reports is, damn, that's a hard word. I'm over here quarterly, correlate. But the first thing you can do if you're trying to find a quarterly report is look at earnings calendar. So just if I go over here and do a quick YouTube search or a quick Google search, you go over here and you say, boom, I want to be earnings report calendar, and then boom, 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 you see here pops up solutions. Boom, you go over here on Yahoo Finance, for example. Yahoo Finance is huge. Like, if you're interested in looking at anything related to anything, Yahoo Finance most definitely probably has it. So searching earnings calendar, here you see there's a breakdown. It shows you the different companies and the dates that the earnings might come out. So if you want to go to a specific date to see what's coming out this week, you can see all the earnings reported this week. If, for example, if I want to search up a specific company, y'all know my favorite, Square. So Square here, it's going to show you when the expected earnings dates are. So looking here, we see that there's an estimated February 23rd is the estimated earnings day report. So by February 23rd, we should expect a Q4 report from Square of 2020. So you'll see here there's a discrepancy between the year and the update. So usually the Q4 earnings comes after 2020, so after the year is concluded. So they gather whatever information, whatever data, because it takes some time to possibly put that information together and then give it to shareholders. So it doesn't come at the end of 2020. It typically comes at the beginning of 2021. If you want to see some other earnings calendars, Nasdaq is also a really good one. I also like Bloomberg, but Bloomberg is a paid subscription now, so I don't quite use Bloomberg anymore. But if you are willing to pay, I think it's like $1 a week or 50 cents a week, for financial reports, information, news, etc. By all means, but there are also a lot of free options like Yahoo Finance, Nasdaq, MarketWatch. There are a lot of free information, so you don't necessarily need to pay for anything. That's that. And also you can just look at the news, CNN, Wall Street Journal. Wall Street Journal is actually paid. But if you are a college student and your school has a business school, which all colleges do, they're most likely going to have a free subscription for Wall Street Journal, because they want you all to stay updated and aware and educated. So look into that if your school gives that opportunity. My school does, and I know a few of my friends I've talked to, their school also does. So look into that for yourself. And Wall Street Journal, it's very easy to navigate. Download the app on your phone and you just scroll, and you get to see the information. They break it down to business tech if you're interested in that, which I look at a lot, and a bunch of other stuff if you want to look at it. So just search on Google if you want to see earnings calendar to get a forecast on what's to come. So now let's dive deeper into interpreting the report. So a quarter report comes out, what does it mean? So for example, here, I'm gonna take you through the first thing you really want to do is go on the company's website. So they most likely also will share their quarterly reports or annual reports, whatever. And they typically have an investor section of their website. So for example, here, if we look at Tesla, they recently just actually reported their earnings on January 27th. So that was a couple days ago. So if you see here, they have the report here for you to really look at and digest for yourself. So today we're just gonna walk through it together. So you see here, they said Q4 and full year 2020 update. So they have the entire fiscal year for us to look at, and the quarter before. They broke it down. You can see they broke it into different sections. They show you the financials. They show you the operationals. They also show you the cars because that's their business. Their business is to develop and build cars. They also talk about technology, which is a huge part of Tesla's brand identity, the tech behind Tesla. And then they just talk about key metrics, other stuff to look at. So first things first, let's see here. So we have a summary here that kind of walks us through what has changed in Tesla and what's been, they talk a little bit more about like the global challenges here, as we can see. They also talk a bit about the Model 3 in China and how they're increasing that, as well as the factory in Shanghai that they just started up with. And they also talk about Berlin and Austin, which are 2 gigafactories also coming up. So they're talking about scaling in summary here. They're just talking about how they're continuing to scale the company, going from where they're currently at into developing more factories, and Model 3 being a product and developing that product. And it's exciting. It's very exciting. So moving forward to their financials, we can see here very quickly the first things I look at typically is the revenue, and I see a growth, which I like a lot. So it looks like here there was a drop between Q4 2019 and 2020 Q1, which is kind of to be expected given what happened in 2020 Q1, the period between January and March, which was when the pandemic really hit off and started off with. So that's kind of to be expected, that dip, but it's nice to see the strong bounce back from them in that department. So they do have a lot of cash on hand, which is really good as well. It's nice to see that a company is liquid, because if they're liquid, it can easily scale because they can transition very, very easily in terms of like how they invest their money, how they move their money. So it's nice to see that. Like you see here, total revenue grew 46% year over year in Q4. That's amazing. That's huge. 46% is a huge growth. It also says here that their vehicle average selling price declined by 11%, which is great news actually, because that means it's becoming more affordable to buy Teslas, which is a huge thing for the market, because the more they produce, that means the price reduces as well. But in terms of if they are able to get the volume of the car production to increase, then being cheaper allows for mass adoption, which is a great thing in terms of scalability for a business, because then more people are able to enter the market, more people are able to buy Teslas, and Tesla is able to scale as a business. So it's a win-win. So here, let's look at the production. This is something I'm also interested in. So as we can see here, production is increasing drastically, almost doubling. Like 71%. Really good numbers. I like that a lot. Delivery also really strong. So delivery is the amount they're able to deliver from what they're able to produce. So the 180, 179. So they're probably delivering older models from what they produced, which is why the production is less than the delivery. So that's also really good because they're increasing the amount of deliveries as well. And another interesting thing here you can see about Tesla is they also have other lines of business, which is solar deployment. which is very small right now, but it has a lot of potential to grow, which is really, really huge. Really, really huge. But right now, it's not that important of a business aspect. So I don't want to go too deep into this. One thing about the core technology I do think is going to take Tesla above and beyond is the full self-driving. We'll talk about this more and more in the future, but soon, very soon, I expect in the next 5 years they'll possibly have more government leeway in terms of like what the laws are allowing people to, self-drive and things like that. So we'll talk more about that later, but that technology is really huge. In terms of like what you should break down, you should really be breaking down also the cash flow, making sure the company's cash flow positive. So cash flow positive means there more money's coming in than going out. So here it looks like they are in the green and not the red. Between Q4, Q3, Q2, Q1 again, like we said, discrepancy between what happened when COVID-19 began. So their net income is positive, which is the another important thing to look at. So they're profitable as a company. So if you really want to break this down, this is going to be really huge. So this is how you really understand a company. If you want to look at, you got to look at how the money's moving, because a lot of what runs this operation is the money. So if you see how they're spending their money, you see what they're doing. So you see that what they're selling, what they're producing, what it costs for them to produce it. You see the expenses, research and development, and if you're able to break down and see, okay, what is this research and development, and like why are they spending money on this? So you really get a full picture of what you're invested in, and you learn more about the company. Also, I love this, seeing assets in the company, especially one that's growing. It means that they're becoming more valuable over time. And something to compare to is their liabilities, because assets and liabilities kind of cancel out in terms of like what you own versus what you owe. So here it looks like they're breaking even here, and I think that's something they're doing on purpose, which is actually I kind of like, because it allows them to leverage more wealth here by not using they're not using their money to make money. They're using other people's money to make more money, growing their asset column even more. It's a bit risky, but given where they're at right now as a company, I think it's completely fine. So this is another thing to really break down if you really want to, the statements of cash flow. So you get to see how exactly the money's coming in. So something interesting you see from statements of cash flow is like a company usually makes money in a lot of different ways that you typically don't think about. And if you look more into this, you see like receipts of government grants. Like, it's not huge, but like that's something that exists on here for a reason. Like, they make a lot of money from different places, so that's something to keep an eye on. So this is just something I kind of wanted to just go through quickly with y'all. If you want more information about stuff like this, let me know. I don't want to make this video too long, but this is just an example of how you really go through a report from a company. So, hey, continue to learn and just keep your eyes open, keep your eye on the prize, and thank you for stopping by for another quick one. And also, if you guys have any other recommendations for what you want to hear from me, like I said, I'm still starting off with this, so I'm kind of just like getting a feel for what to talk about. So if you're interested in hearing something that you think I might know about, or even if I don't know about it, you just want me to just talk and look stupid on camera about it, let me know. Drop it in the comments. Drop a like on this video. Share with your friends. Share with your mama. Share with your papa. Share with your brothers and sisters. Thank you.